Imagine a world where people thought smoking was healthy. Computers were the size of an entire room, and a house costs less than a car today. All right. In the 1950s, the average home price was just $7,400, and that wouldn't even cover a down payment in 2025. A gallon of gas was only 25 cents, and now we're lucky if it's under $4. And get this, there was only one McDonald's. All right. There wasn't a bunch of chains like there are today. And in tech, the most advanced computer was an IBM 701. It cost millions of dollars and could barely do what a smartphone does today in seconds. All right. And seatbelts were optional. All right. And in some parts, drinking and driving, it was like that was the norm. Maybe more further in the South. You guys can educate me of that in the comments section. But yeah. I'm getting ready to react to this video titled The 1950s in Color, Life in America. All right. So before we get started, if you like this type of content, do me a big favor and like the video. If you want to stay up to date whenever I post a video that you just might want to see, subscribe and hit that notification bell so I'll show up in your algorithm. All right. Let's go ahead and get right into this. Let's go.
The 1950s are arguably the most nostalgic years in U.S. history.
That bathing suit, I think some women would wear that today. It would still be in style. She kind of looked good there.
The decade was marked by the post-World War II boom, the dawn of the Cold War, and the Civil Rights Movement in the United States.
I like this little background music.
The roles within the ideal American family were clearly defined. The father was the breadwinner, and he supported his wife and their ever-growing family.
Some things don't change. You can still see kid bikes that look similar to this today.
On average, gas cost 18 cents per gallon at the start of the 1950s, and 25 cents per gallon at the end of the decade.
Can of beer on top of the car.
The economy was booming. New cars, suburban houses, and other consumer goods were available to more people than ever before.
Not a smartphone in sight. One thing I like about the 1950s, I love the way that people would get dressed up before leaving outside. Nowadays you can go to Walmart and you can see someone go to Walmart with their footies on, some flannel pajama pants. The whole. It was a thing to be presentable when you left the house. Okay, this is why some people pay the extra money and go to Target or Costco's or wherever to avoid that. But I do admire. The kids with the hats and what's that movie that I watch every Christmas, A Christmas Story, when you see the way the kids are dressed up, going to school, and they wear the little hats and their scarves and stuff. I've always enjoyed that look.
Car culture took off in the 1950s.
I can see.
President Eisenhower signed the Federal Aid Highway Act in June of 1956 to create 41,000 miles of national highways. This made family road trips possible.
Yeah. That's what I'm noticing in these photos. Everybody's riding around in a nice whip. Probably made from the best quality.
Televisions became something the average family could afford. The golden age of television was marked by family-friendly shows like I Love Lucy, The Honeymooners, The Twilight Zone, and Leave It to Beaver.
A show I never could get my head around was MASH. I don't know if that was around then, but whenever MASH came on, that's when I knew it was time for me to go to sleep. That's a cool ass looking fire truck.
The 1950s saw the emergence of rock and roll, which swept across the nation.
This was a time before I assume the processed food boom, you know what I mean? That has all of us struggling, well, not all of us, but a large percentage of us struggling with weight and the addiction to sugar that's in everything. I read a stat yesterday that 70% of our military is overweight, which is insane. And I know they're picking select photos here, but it looks like, you don't really see that issue back then. And the big question is, how do we get here? Patriarchy. expecting to see a really good documentary. I didn't know they were going to be playing this music all throughout the video, which it's enjoyable though.
The booming prosperity of the 1950s helped to create a widespread sense of stability in the United States. That consensus was a fragile one and would be tested in the following decade.
Those women don't look oppressed to me. Okay, that's one thing that doesn't need to come back, you know, the smoking on airplanes, the smoking in restaurants and stuff like that. I may visit the casino maybe once or twice a year and go gamble my $20, all right, because, you know, I'm not really a gambler. I mainly go to people watch or just to get out of the house. But when I do go into the smoking session, I can only be in there for a short period of time. So I can imagine like everywhere, you know, where there's just smoking on the planes. Yeah, I don't want that part to come back either. And I'll leave the link to the original video in the description. But yeah, that's just a look back into the 1950s, okay? Well before I was born. I was born in the 80s, 1983 to be exact. So, you know, it's well before my time, but I'm always interested, you know, in where we're going and where we come from, you know. But you guys let me know if you got some information in the comments section or fun facts about that time. Leave it in the comments section below. And what do you think was the greatest generation? Okay, you know, the greatest generation. Let me know in the comment section, you know, below. All right. Until next time, appreciate you guys for watching. Peace.
Yes! Look what I have created! I have made